What is your can't eat at everybody's house horror story? Told my dad my sandwich tasted like fly spray at my grandma's house. He didn't believe me. 2 days later I catch my grandma spraying the benches clean with the $2 fly spray you find at the cheap store. Dad figured it was safe to make sandwiches straight on the countertop because they looked clean. I dragged him over to see and he apologized and took my sister and I for fish and chips for lunch. When I was a kid, Christmas Eve was always celebrated at Grandma's. I always got sick afterwards. Like Merry Christmas, you're going to puke now. It wasn't until I was all grown up and helping her out in the last weeks of her life that I learned why. She did not believe in expiration dates on anything. What profession was once respected but no longer is? Flight attendant. Teachers. Bank manager. Back in the day you were the man that people wanted to know to get their shit done. Now you're just a escalation point for customer service complaints. Being a milkman. I never understood why this was a joke until I was talking to my mom the other day and she mentioned they had a milkman when she was a kid. I always assumed you scheduled the delivery for when you were there to receive it and they left it at the door. Apparently these dudes would just straight up walk into your house and put it in the fridge. I can't even imagine that being normal. Journalist. Imagine going to uni for years to spend a career spamming us with clickbait. Working in retail. At one time that was considered a middle-class profession. Town crier. Serious. What is the most disturbing documentary you've ever seen? There's something wrong with Aunt Diane. That one messed me up for days. The fact that her family is not willing to accept what really happened is mind-blowing. Love has won. The cult of Mother God definitely has the most disturbing imagery I've seen in a doc. The Jared Fogle documentary was chilling. I've heard of pedophiles of course, but hearing actual audio, and how graphic he was, and so casual about it. I'm a true crime junkie, but something about that just made me sick to my stomach. Edit. Because people have been asking. It's called Jared from Subway. Catching a Monster and it's on Netflix. Dear Zachary, tell me who I am. What assassinations drastically changed the course of history? Harambe. Julius Caesar. The assassination of Emperor Uriel Septim VII. It brought about the end of the line of Tiber Septim, and the eventual end of the unified empire. Philip II of Macedon. Assassinated by one of his bodyguards. His son took the throne at age 19, and within 10 years had done enough to become one of the most influential figures in human history, Alexander the Great. The murder of Archduke Ferdinand is probably the most impactful assassination in history. It is the one event the entire modern world can be tied back to in a direct link. What is something you would refuse to buy even if you were a millionaire? A trip to the Titanic. A timeshare. I heard the pitch in Vegas in order to get a free show and buffet. I told the guy up front that my wife and I were poor, but we wouldn't buy what he was selling if we won $1 million gambling. The pitch still went an hour overtime. When I asked why, he said the presentation varied in time according to level of interest. Not sure what I could have said to show less interest than that. Edit. A lot of people said we should have left when the stated time was over, but we had to wait until the end to get our vouchers. Also, my wife was dying of cancer at the time and we told them so. It was pretty obvious she was sick, but that didn't help speed things up either. She lasted less than 6 months after that. As bizarre as the experience was, during the show we finally got free tickets to. The Elvis impersonator sat on her lap and flirted with her while singing one of the songs, and it was the highlight of the trip.